What I'm going to do here is to build a piece of synthetic stone using aircraft manufacturing techniques, fiberglass aircraft techniques. So all we need is a form, and this could be made out of styrofoam, but I need 5 inches by, anyway, I need this size. So I measured these like packing material, and I'm using this Trim Tech spray adhesive. It's what you use to put corner bead on, and you spray it on both sides and let it sit. See, I didn't get that side yet. So I'm gluing this piece up, and it's a piece of stone, right? So the dimensions aren't all that super critical. I already put a coat on there, so you know it needs to kind of dry. I coated both sides and then stuck it right away, and it didn't stick, but I left it open for a little bit, right, which is I don't want to use the crushed edge, but either of these edges are good. So we'll spray this on and let it dry, and then it actually grabs and sticks really well to this. Now that this is tacky, I can put this together. Now we're just making a base for fiberglass, and I need to wait till this dries, and then I'm out of stuff. So wood glue would work. I'll put some wood glue on that, and then glue this piece, and then I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inches thick, and that'll be the size of the stone. So the next step is to cover it in fiberglass, then give it a stone texture. I ran out of this spray adhesive, so I'm using regular wood glue, and it's not critical. It's not even critical if this doesn't stay together on the inside for very long, because we don't care about that. We just care about the form. Is the form going to be about the same size as the stone? So I'm going to, even as I say, we don't care about that, I'm going to set, okay, so here's my form for a stone. We're going to build a stone out of fiberglass using aircraft building techniques, and so I have it measured so that it will overlap here. So I measured, you know, 5, and so that's 20 inches, and this folds over, so I measured 20 inches out from here. I used this drywall square, which gets us close enough, and if you do a lot of this work, this is how we cut it. We'll put that underneath there, but see, it's short. Where does it end? It ends right there. So I'll just demonstrate with a pair of shears. See, you get this where it sticks, and you kind of don't want that. And this, using this, that doesn't happen, except you have to make from one end to the other. And I'm not set up quite right to do that. Are we good? Yeah, see there's a little place where it's hanging still attached. So we'll go to the other side. And if you do a lot of this, this is the way you would probably do it, want to do it. All right, so that is kind of messed up here, but you know, aircraft building is almost worse than construction. And sometimes you have to be as precise as a piano builder, but not often. So see, something like that, it's not a big deal as far as we're concerned. I wouldn't even be concerned on my Mansard 4. So now we're going to mix up some epoxy, and I didn't set the stage to show this, so there's some cups around here somewhere. I should have much bigger brush than this. Here's some carbon fiberglass scrap, but this thing pre-measures the right ratio of hardener to resin, and I'll need to refill these. So you squirt that in there, or you weigh it, or do it by volume. 100 to 44, 100 resin to 44 hardener. And so you get it mixed up here, and you can leave this piece out. Well, never mind, we'll discuss that later. Now we'll paint a little bit of this on here. And then, if it behaves properly, we can see, this is, I need to put on these gloves, latex, nitrile, whatever gloves, to keep this stuff off your hands. Some people are really allergic to it. I'm not. It's still not a good idea to be touching it. See how this hair gets all over the place? And it's just part of the deal. Now, I talk in my videos about skills and developing, you know, a variety of skills so that it increases your ability to offer value, which translates into charge a fair price. And if you can add you know, fiberglass fabrication, there will be times when this is useful. I replaced, well, I didn't replace it in the sense of I made a cast iron. It's on my website. It's like a collector where the downspout comes down and it goes into a cast iron hub, and it goes, you know, underground or on the ground, and they're very expensive, and you can't often find them, although there are places that will make them, and they're in the thousands. So I made a form of styrofoam exactly like theirs, and I used fiberglass to using this technique here around the styrofoam, and then I melted the styrofoam from out of the form with gasoline, leaving this, I want to say boot, but that might be the wrong expression to use. Now see, well, it's flat where it's sitting, so this should be okay. And I can now see that I'm going to need to trim these edges. I should have done that before I started, but I was too anxious. See where you get these things? That's just something for the trash can. Yeah, now we don't want to have bubbles like that, so we'll stretch this around the corner, put this back down, right? Now we're gonna want this fiberglass to go through and soak the, hopefully it does that. This will be a test, you know, can we get it to attach to the, yes, see it darkening there? It's attaching itself to the to our form underneath, so that's a good thing. Probably takes more than it would if I primed it. So see how that kind of moves? You can move it around, tighten it up. We're on these ends, we're going to need to it's going to need to touch those ends in some places. Okay, this is going to take, oops, this is going to take some time, and I'll come back and comment. Okay, I used up everything that I mixed, so this will start to get hard in like about 15 minutes or so. And it depends on the temperature of the room that you're working at. So there's another thing to consider is when I flip this over, I'll probably need a piece of plastic. This piece of drywall will now be more than just a piece of drywall. If I get enough of this on it, it'll be a nice work surface. So this is, it's going through to the form. I like that. And so now I'm going to use the scissors and make relief cuts so that I can wrap this up just like you would wrap a present. All right, so this is a status report. This side, see this dark? That's where it's adhering to the ends of the, you know, cardboardy like stuff. So what I did is I wrapped this whole thing in plastic, and that is pushing it down and making it adhere. And this is gonna make it, like there's some air bubbles in there, but it's gonna give it a stone-like texture. And this is now sticking to the end with the plastic there. I forgot this is actually a technique that can be used. They also have called bagging, vacuum bagging, where they suck all the air out of it, and this way you can use less epoxy and then you have less weight. Oddly enough, the more epoxy you have, the more weight, and it doesn't make it stronger. Just the minimal amount of epoxy is what you need for airplanes. But for these imitation stone blocks, we can do anything. So that should be ready in the morning. Okay, let's look at this ball stone. I wrapped it in plastic, and now I need to make a surface that will take paint and make a surface that sort of looks like, see these indentation parts, that could look like this stone because it has fissures like that. But this slick surface that's left by the plastic will need to get knocked down by sandpaper, wire brush, something. .60 grit. What I have here, this is the stone, and I made some fill where it looked like it was a wrapped package. Now I'm not going to go to a lot of trouble to make this look like, you know, all square and perfect, because the stone isn't that. Nobody's ever going to see the top. Nobody's ever going to see two sides. So one side and then one long edge will be shown. So I put some Bondo on parts that made it look like a wrapped present, and I'm going to use some Porter Permanizer exterior flat 100% acrylic ultimate, our best exterior. Somewhere it says guaranteed for life. It's going to be dry in a few minutes given the temperature and the fan blowing on it. Alright, I have the first coat on, and I'm in the warehouse, the Bat Cave, and it's, besides a little afternoon, it's 90 degrees in here, and I have this three-phase fan that was left for me from by the previous owner, and it's It's the bomb. Now, so while I'm waiting, this shouldn't, well, look. Well, there is a little spot that was wet. But anyway, it's going to be dry in a few minutes, given the temperature and the fan blowing on it. But I dumped out my Bondo. This is my Bondo bucket, and I dumped it out to clean it out. You can see the mess that's in it. And one of the things that's in it is I have these cubes of Xterra board. Cubes of Xterra board. I'm not sure how you spell it, but Burkhart's Woodwork in St. Louis sells it. It's not a structural, you can't use it like a 1x because it has some flex in it. But if you're building a gutter box and you don't want the water to ever bother it, it's completely insect proof, waterproof. We carried a block of wood in a quart jar to show to customers, and this block that was in the quart jar, nothing ever happened. And I was sitting, I don't want my drink bottle sitting on this dirty floor, so I just put a scrap of this down, and that made me think, it's like, well, this water's never gonna affect this wood. So what I do with these blocks is I had a big fill, and I was gonna fill it with Bondo, and this takes, so I put some Bondo in there, and then I squeeze in some random sized blocks to fill it up. And I was throwing them away, and I thought I would share that. Also, this rolling cart was left for me as well, and there's like 2x4s with some plywood, and I put a sheet of drywall, and so this drywall surface, you know, they make it at the factory, and it's pretty dimensionally flat and stable. So I work on it with sheet metal, and I did this thing on it, not that it's critical, but anyway, it's a nice surface to work on. And after a while, you know, you can see I put duct tape on the edge because it started getting beat up. But it's a nice flat, I mean, it's almost like perfectly flat, except, you know, over a short distance. Like over the whole distance is probably not perfectly flat, but I don't need it. What I do is I put I unroll a coil on it and roll it up to a brake and slide it into the brake. I have all 3 coats in some places, like on the top of this lifetime warranty permanizer. So we have 3 lifetimes on this. Now the top won't ever be seen, but I am gonna fly a drone over there and take a picture from above, and who knows. So here's, why does that look green? I'm wanting some dark color. Wonder what this will do. See, they spotted it on that. Stewart. Oops, maybe I shouldn't put the white back in there. Yeah, it looks kind of greenish. What if I put it on there, and then I could, I don't know, use my hands to try to wipe it off. That's about right, but I need black. What if I use this straight up? See, it'd be good if the dark was in the pores And right now, the way it's turning out, it's the white is in the pores. So I probably should have done it in different order. But I mean, these are both latex, so I mean it's the idea, but I think I needed a different, a charcoal color. This is a green color. Look at that. It's like going into the grooves. Right? I don't know, like a sponge or something. Paint, stick, and use both ends. Very, very clever. So this is that black. Now this would be good to make these lines that were worn away and have dirt in them. So let's keep playing around with it. Gotta run and get your wife and say, hey honey, look at this idiot trying to make a plastic stone, because he doesn't want to carry the real heavy thing up on the roof. There, it's a perfect match now, don't you think? Okay, let's go glue it on. Okay, just to give you an idea how light this is, right? Now the reason I'm doing this, I'm not charging for making this thing and putting it on. The reason I'm doing it, I sent a proposal to the homeowner to get a crane. They have cranes that place these air conditioners, and set that stone up here with a crane. And in the meantime, I volunteered without charge to put this faux plastic fiberglass stone up here. So I have 4 adhesives here. Which one should I use? I didn't bring roof cement. So we have this lifetime warranty guaranteed elastic acrylic urethane sealant. Man, this stuff I've seen on a display where they stuck some 1/4-inch bar of aluminum to, I don't know, some painted surface, and you could bend it in half, and it was about a 1/4 inch thick. So this works as an excellent adhesive. And then look at this, we have heavy duty strong permanent bond, will outlast the project, bonds all common materials, it's waterproof and weatherproof, so bonds to like everything. And then here, this is the stuff they use to put gutters together, that the Metal Tech sells this to to glue gutter seams together. And I stopped using it in favor of, I forget what, Seamer Mate. But so I have a bunch of this left over. And then here's our GE all-purpose silicone 7-year mold-free, same-day rain-ready, lifetime warranty. But you can't paint it. It's for indoor and outdoor. And this is what they developed to glue the ceramic tiles to the space capsule for re-entry. So it takes like 550 degrees. So which do you think? All of them? Oh, I like how you think. I'm in line with that. Let's do all of them.